True Love Reading Cards by Belinda Grace, illustrated by Lori Banks. This is a deck. This is a love deck, but this is a love deck where the point of it is to help you attract the love of your dreams or create the relationship of your dreams by working through your own shadows, getting to know yourself better, connecting deeper with the energy of love and with your own heart, your own wants, your own desires, and your own self. Welcome everybody to today's video. Today I will be talking about this deck, showing you the box as I am now. We'll take a look at the book, we'll take a look at the cards, different aspects of each, and we'll talk about the theme of this deck. So let's jump right in. This is a magnetic open close, keeps your cards nice and safe. This is what the deck would look like on a bookshelf. And when we open this box, we get a nice large guidebook. Beyond the guidebook is where our cards are situated. They are situated in a plastic insert. They do not sit in here very well, but when the book is in here, no issues whatsoever. And then beyond that, that is basically it. So I'm going to put the box away and then we're going to move on. So before we get into the cards, let me quickly show you the book. This is 100, no, did I say 100? This is 94 numbered pages. It is laminated, so as I am flipping through, if the light is bouncing off, my apologies. I will try to keep an eye on that, make sure you're not blinded and that you can also see what I'm trying to show you. When we open the book, we just have some basic information here, and then we go straight into contents. We have an introduction, how to use the cards, and then we have the cards in alphabetical order. Thank you. They are numbered as well, and then the page numbers. They're very easy to find in this book, I find. They're very, very easy. There are more cards here. Notice there are 36 cards in this deck, and then after that we have about the author, about the illustrator, and acknowledgements. When we flip to the next page, there's a short introduction and then how to use these cards. So some basic information like daily messages, guidance on specific issues, and then we have a 3-card spread. What's really interesting here is that this 3-card spread can be used for somebody who is single and somebody who's in a relationship. So basically the position of the cards change meaning depending on your situation or the situation of the person you're reading for. When we flip to the next page, and then the page after that, we get into the card descriptions. So notice that the first page of the card description has a large image of the card, and this is literally what these cards will look like. Let me show you an example with the last card in the deck, the yin and yang, and I'm going to flip to that. So there you go. So the printed images in the book are quite decent, large sized, very nicely done. And I want to point out one thing about this is while the cards are numbered in the book, they are not on the cards themselves. So all the cards have is the name of the card. But the book has that, but it also has a number, and it also has like a key phrase. So each card will have that in the book. And then we get into the description of the card. And that is the book. That is basically the book. There's a bit more that I want to go into with this guidebook, but we'll do that in a little bit. For now, I'm going to put it aside, and I want to jump into showing you the cards and talking about the themes of this deck. So I created 2 separate groups with these cards, and these are based on kind of like what you would expect to find in a love deck, and then what you wouldn't maybe expect, or me, I guess, in a love deck. So what I'm going to do is do a flip through these cards, and you'll be able to see the artwork and what these cards look like, and also we can talk about the themes. So first we'll look at kind of what you would expect. So we have boundaries, chivalry. I feel like this is pretty like what you want in a love deck, right? Commitment, compatibility, connection, dating. We have the divine feminine. Now, I was like, I could see this going both ways. So this is a clue here that this deck is a little bit more than just kind of face value love stuff. The divine masculine. Also notice we have some symbolism. We have emotional freedom, forgiveness, I love this card. I'm going to set this one aside because I want to show you this in the book. It has a mantra. And if you notice on the card, I forgive myself, I am forgiven. Beautiful. Intimacy. Love. Beautiful artwork. Maturity. Resolving conflict. Self-respect. I love it. Serendipity. Sexual freedom. Sexuality. Soulmates. Spiritual maturity. And then we have worthiness. Spiritual maturity. I'm not sure why I put this in here. I feel like that is not very obviously love, but it can be as well, I guess. Yeah. Okay. And then lastly, we have worthiness. So there we go. So that is the one group for kind of like what obviously belongs in a love deck, I guess. Kind of like very broadly speaking, love deck. Now, the cards I set aside, manifestation. So I can see this being actually in this deck. I put this card aside because I wanted to look at it in the book, and it just ended up in this group. So that's okay. We'll put that aside. We have abundance. We have creativity. We have the distorted feminine. We have the distorted masculine. The garden. The gardener. Inner peace. Notice you are enough. And then I am enough journal. Life purpose. Like, what does life purpose have to have anything to do with finding a partner, right? Luminosity, or even just casually dating or whatever it is that you're looking for. The rainbow reviver. Reparenting yourself. The sacred woman. The silver waterfall. I can bring that up a little bit. And then lastly, we have yin and yang. Okay, so I have quite a few cards here in this group. I don't think I'm going to be looking at all of them in the book, but I definitely want to look at some of these. So let's go back into the book, and I think that I'm going to start with the card manifestation. So we're going to start with this card here, and let me just see what number it is to find it. Manifestation 22. Okay. So this card, notice it has chakras on it. This is manifestation, and if you want to pause this, go ahead and pause it so that you can read it. But basically this is talking about how to connect with your heart, your solar plexus, and your sacral chakras in order to feel those energies. And it even tells you what the heart chakra is about, what the solar plexus is about, and what the sacral chakra is about, and how it ties in to manifestation. And then it kind of guides you through a meditation in order for you to manifest what you want, but I feel like in a very healthy way, because it teaches you how to connect with your chakras, with your energy centers. So this is one example of the kind of things that we see in this deck. Not every card is like this. For instance, if we look at abundance, which is like, what is this card doing in this deck, in a love deck? I'm not sure. That was kind of my first reaction. Like, that's interesting. So in this one, if you're curious, if you just want to pause it and read it for yourself, do so. And also, I'm sorry about that glare. I'm trying to kind of get a very good eliminate the shadows and the glare, and it's like I get one or the other. Okay, there we go. And hopefully you can actually see that and it's not blurry. But basically this is pretty like general. It's not very super deep. It doesn't have any meditations or like instructions to work through anything as far as I know. It just kind of talks about abundance in general. And if we look like right in here, Loving and being loved will definitely make you feel more abundant. So here it talked about different forms of abundance. And then it's talking about if you are longing to meet your soulmate, it's your willingness to appreciate, acknowledge, and accept yourself that allows you to feel more abundant and will help you manifest a partner. In a relationship, your abundance of health, friendships, and mindset will bring joy to your partnership as well as more love. So it's kind of like there's not a lot of depth in here, but so it's interesting because this deck is like, it's got obvious cards, it doesn't have, and then it has cards that are not obvious, and then some of these, and then it's mixed, and then some of these cards, they will have like deeper stuff where you can work through things, and then other cards will be kind of like just kind of more common sense or general information. Still good though. Like I feel like abundance, for example, reading that, like it has decent information and I feel it's worthwhile reading. And if it's something that you are struggling with, for example, I think that is something that can be very beneficial. But like I said, there's not more to that. There's not like meditations or anything. Now let's go to creativity and take a look at how that connects with the theme here. So again, if you want to pause this, I'm going to try to find a really good lighting here. So go ahead and pause that if you want to, and then I'm probably going to be moving the page around a bit. Okay, so here we have like the general message. You have drawn this card today because there is never any excuse for excessive repetition or boredom in your life or in your relationships. And then talks about routines and habits. And then it talks about bringing creativity into your life and into your relationship. And I think, let's see what the key phrase is here, actually. Your world, I can't read. Your world offers endless possibilities and varieties. So be creative and enjoy them to your advantage and benefit. So I think it's like putting the spark in your life, right? And again, positive things will create more positive things in your life. So, okay, the distorted feminine, and then we have the distorted masculine as well. So these are things that, again, would not have to, but could be worked through and could be beneficial to be worked through. And I'm not going to go and read these. If you want, you can go ahead and do that and kind of just to get an idea of what this is about. Now, there is also the divine feminine, which I put into the kind of obvious, and the divine masculine. And what's really interesting is that with the divine feminine card, we have a meditation. So there's like, look at how much information there is here. Reintegrating your divine feminine. And you have instructions on how to do that. How cool is that? I love that. Okay, now the garden and the gardener, I will take a look at that in a little bit. I'm going to have to pause and just kind of read those two cards, and I'm not going to do that now. Let's take a look at the card of forgiveness because I wanted to show you that mantra. So that's going to be further down. Okay, and then there you go. The forgiveness mantra. I forgive myself, I forgive myself, I forgive myself, I am forgiven. Beautiful. Such peaceful vibes off of this card, along with this mantra. When I read it, I'm just like, whew, I don't know, there's some powerful energy there for me in any case. Apparently, my camera stopped recording at some point, and I don't know entirely where, so let's just take a look. I was looking at this card, Life Purpose. And this is it in the deck. So how does this card connect to finding love? And what it says here is that basically our life purpose is love. It is to love and to be loved. And then skipping ahead, it says, in order to attract the kind of love you want or rekindle love in your current relationship, it is necessary to be love wherever you can, whenever you can. This is the higher life purpose for all of us. And this is how this card fits into the theme of love. Okay, we have, and I'm just gonna maybe just look through the book at this point. So I'm going to move the camera one more time so that you can see this better. Okay, so this is one card I wanted to show you. This is Luminosity, and this is the counterpart to the card Chivalry. So how cool is that? There's Luminosity, Chivalry. There's the divine masculine, the divine feminine. So we have counterparts. The divine, the distorted masculine, the distorted feminine, and then we also have the card Yin and Yang. So a lot of counterparts here. It's so cool. We have maturity here. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. This is a very short description, but there is actually a little meditation in here as well. How nice is that? And this is all about, what is this? This is about, I want to say finding inner child or happiness or something like that. Yeah, it's like when you need a lift, when you're just kind of been down and everything's heavy. It's when you need a lift emotionally. Reparenting yourself, and then we have instructions on how to do that as well. So resolving conflict, that's really good. The sacred woman, I was curious about this as well, so I'm going to pause this and read the description and see what we can talk about, if we can talk about this. This is talking about the white buffalo woman, buffalo calf woman. So there's a legend, and it talks about the legend, and it's really cool. On the bottom, what it says is that the white buffalo calf woman, when you call her into your life, she will help you do away with self-sabotaging behavior. It touches on, again, the divine feminine aspects within both women and men. Now, so I love this description. Unfortunately, that's all it is. There is no how to do this, how to connect, no meditation, no nothing. We just basically have a connection. Description is what I was wanting to say. So unfortunately, I feel like I want to go deeper here, but I can't. So I guess that's kind of like one downfall. So it's an interesting deck, to be honest. It's a very interesting deck. It's definitely about finding yourself, connecting with different energies, universal energies and things, different archetypes as well, connecting with those energies. So it's a cool deck. And I'm conflicted because it's like, on the one hand, it's kind of like there's not much depth to it, just like with this sacred buffalo woman. And then there are cards where there is a lot of depth in the book descriptions. And there we go. I was just looking for that card. So that's the card I was talking about. Yeah, so unfortunately, this is not one of those. And there are some cards like that in this book as well. Now, I wanted to show you, I think this is the last card I wanted to show you, and that is going to be the silver. I can't seem to flip the page. The silver waterfall. Stay balanced, healthy, and happy by raising your own vibration. And this is, again, there is a meditation on how to raise your vibration with this card. So if you pull this card, it's kind of like you have the meditation, you can use it if you like. So this is the deck. These are the themes in these cards in this book. This is how the book is laid out. Definitely an interesting set of cards. And I do think they're more aimed at finding deep connections, soulmate type of connections, and lasting relationships. And also, again, it is also a deck made for people who are in relationships, and you can use this deck to deepen your connection to your partner and deepen your relationship, the connection within your relationship, and improve. I don't want to suggest there's anything wrong with your relationship, but just make it happier, maybe where you're more connected. Yeah. Okay, so I want to show you how these shuffle. and we'll talk about kind of size, and you've already kind of seen them, so but let's just go through the details, I guess, of the cards. So they are laminated. Lamination is not terrible. They don't usually give me issues. As you've seen, this is the back. Now, they look kind of small, but they're not. So they are, because of the borders, and they in fact have two, which is kind of a shame. But we have one large border, and then if you notice, this is another border, and every card, that second border is a bit different. Like the colors are different. So those borders are not the same across each card. They're unique to each card, but they are there. So our card image is actually quite small, and that translates into these cards just appearing to be smaller than they are, but they are in fact the size of a regular oracle card, and I will show you. So here I have the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle card. I have one of them, and I have the True Love Reading card, and if you can see, they look so much smaller, but this card looks so much smaller, but putting it side by side, they are the same. And in fact, the True Love Reading cards are slightly, just ever so slightly, come on camera, maybe I'll just zoom that in. See that poking out? That's not even how I'm holding it. It's literally slightly larger. They're slightly longer, these cards. It's kind of crazy, like, oops, sorry for that shake. It's kind of crazy, like, who would think? But they are the same size, and I guess that's what happens when you put borders on cards. They just appear to be so much smaller than they actually are. In terms of handling, they handle quite well. Because of that lamination, they also shuffle quite nicely as well. And I guess cardstock is pretty good. I have handled these cards a bit at this point, and they're not looking damaged or anything. I'm not seeing anything around the edges or anything, like any parts and pieces coming off or any bends or anything like that. So that's really good. So they seem like a good quality cardstock. And by the way, if I don't remember if I mentioned this. This deck specifically is published by Rockpool. I don't know if there's other publishings of this deck, but this is the one that I have. So this is the one that I am talking about. Yeah, so handling them pretty good, shuffling them pretty nice. I want to show you a riffle shuffle as well. I may need to maybe change the camera angle, I think. Yes, I will have to do that because we can't see what's going on. Alright, so let's do a riffle shuffle. They are pretty stiff, and I have handled them, like I said, a bit now, and they are still pretty stiff. Now, not terribly, like I can definitely bend them, but they're not, it's not a problem for me to shuffle them. I want to say that. They're not an issue for me to shuffle, but they are not the best to shuffle. They don't have that kind of like fluffy feeling that some cards will have. But hopefully that, and can you see that that's from like doing these shuffles, they're already kind of bent. So you can bend these for sure. They're just the size, they're large and kind of stiff, so they're a bit harder to riffle shuffle, but it's totally manageable. Lastly, what I want to do is show you what these would look like in a spread. So if you are doing a reading with these cards, and here we go, I have to change that camera angle one more time. Okay, so let's say we are doing this in a reading. We are pulling cards, we're doing a reading. Looks like I'm going to have to fix that one more time. Okay, let's see. We have Just want to show you a few other cards. Just randomly picking them out. And let's say you're doing other decks as well with this. Maybe let's do it this way. Okay. Let's do a tarot card in the mix of that. Okay. So this is kind of how these cards play with other cards. What you can expect from this deck. Okay, so I think that's it. If there is anything that you are curious about that I haven't covered and you would like to know, please leave a comment for me and I will do my best to answer your question if I can. Otherwise, if you're still here, thanks for watching. I hope this was informative or enjoyable, let's say, and I hope that you join me again in another video. Take care.